The Super 25 of North American Big Game was introduced into the GSCO family of slams in 2011. To qualify, a hunter has to have completed the Super 10. After that, any other 15 trophies on the list can be used for the Super 25 level. Now that you know the extreme difficulty in obtaining this milestone, we'll move along to recognize several who've achieved their Super 25s recently. We first call Missouri's Lonnie Cook to the stage. Lonnie took a mountain lion on a hunt in Utah back in January 2015. Later that year, he traveled to British Columbia for his American mountain goat. In January 2021, Lonnie got his desert mule deer on a hunt in Sonora, Mexico. September 2023 found him in Alaska, where he took his Alaska Yukon moose, and finally Lonnie collected his Tule elk in August 2024 to complete his North American Super 25. Kevin Gilbert of Montana finished his Super 25 with two trophies he took only 7 days apart during 2024. The first was his Columbia black-tailed deer from California, and the second was his woodland caribou from Newfoundland. Backing way up to 1988, we see Kevin with his Shiras moose from Montana. Some 15 years later, Kevin took a black bear during a hunt in Alaska, and we finish up with Kevin's polar bear from Nunavut he got in March 2024. One of the earliest trophies taken by John Kupiec of Michigan on his Super 25 journey was a desert bighorn from Sonora, Mexico in 2006. 2 years later, on a trip to British Columbia, John was able to get his American mountain goat. Then in 2014, he traveled to the Yukon to take his Alaska Yukon moose. John collected his Quebec Labrador caribou in 2018 while in Quebec, and he completed his Super 25 in 2022 with his Tule elk from California. Steve Stone of Virginia completed his Super 25 in September 2024 on a trip to the Northwest Territories, where he took his Alaska Yukon moose. Steve was also able to get his mountain caribou during that same trip. We then back up to 2018 and show you Steve's Rocky Mountain elk taken in British Columbia. In June 2014, while on another BC hunt, he was able to get his black bear. And we'll finish up by showing you Steve's Rocky Mountain mule deer taken in Alberta in November 2008. Arizona's Chris Thice completed his Super 25 in December 2023 with a desert bighorn sheep from Mexico. His 24th trophy came just 1 month earlier on a hunt in Colorado, when he became a half slammer with a Rocky Mountain bighorn. In May 2023, Chris found himself in Nunavut, where he got his polar bear, and in October 2022, he was able to connect with the Rocky Mountain elk in his home state of Arizona. Finally, we'll show you the woodland caribou Chris got during a trip to Newfoundland, also in October 2022. Next we call David Tuttle of Idaho, who finished his Super 25 milestone with a polar bear from Nunavut in October 2024. Only 1 month earlier, David was in Newfoundland for his woodland caribou and got a fine bull there. Backing up a year, we see David in Nunavut with his muskox, and in 2020, he was able to take his mule deer on a hunt in Texas. Going way back to October 2001, you see David's Shiras moose from his home state of Idaho. Evan Zeiger of Alabama had a full slate of hunting in 2024. One of his trophies from that busy year was his impressive Roosevelt elk from British Columbia, taken in October. During that same month, Evan got his Shiras moose, also in BC. In October 2023, he hunted in Newfoundland for his woodland caribou, and 2 months earlier, Evan was back in BC to take his American mountain goat. Finally, we'll show you his cougar taken in February 2019 while he was again in British Columbia. That concludes the Firearm Super 25 Awards. We now move to the Archery Super 25 category. Our first Archery Super 25 holder to recognize is Alan Brock of Georgia, and he reached that milestone in September 2023 with a Tule elk taken in California. September 2022, Alan arrowed his bison, and in September 2021, he traveled to Nunavut for his Central Canadian Barren Brown caribou. Alan was in Nunavut when he arrowed his polar bear in the spring of 2018, and to round out his milestone, you see Alan with his Rocky Mountain elk from Wyoming, taken back in September 2009. Well, that concludes all of our Super 25 awards. Let's give these recipients a big round of applause.